Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bobby D back again. Hopefully, my video has been corrected and we can get this video completed. Okay. I apologize for the technical difficulty. Lisa G is checking my video right now. Hopefully, it should be coming through strong and 100%. We have slow internet tonight. That may be the issue. If it's still not coming through, then I am going to cancel the broadcast totally and reschedule it until we get our internet worked out. I'm looking. Okay, here we go. Good. We're back on the air. Woo! All right. We have a slow internet today, ladies and gentlemen, so I apologize for that. However, we're going to get this resolved. Okay, we're going to get this done. All right. So our topic today, ladies and gentlemen, is where, as you recall, I'm in the process of doing a series. This is the second in a series of videos, of live stream videos regarding Black history in the United States, or American Black history, because we are Americans. And many would tell you that Black history doesn't matter because we don't matter. But I'm gonna tell you, Black people matter all over the world, and we have contributed to many things in this world. However, for some strange and ubiquitous reason, we're not getting credit for it. So we have to pat our own self on the back and recognize our own achievements. So as this series continues, I'll be highlighting those individuals who I have deemed to made a significant contribution to the people of the Black people of America and American history. One individual that we will look at real quickly tonight, got a very short video, is on Malcom X. His name is called Malcom X because he didn't know what his last name was. He changed it to X. Yeah, that's what he changed it to legally, Malcolm X. Slave name was Malcolm Little. So anyway, short video on it tonight. I'm gonna give you a part two because I couldn't get part two. I had some technical difficulties with that, but I'm gonna give you part one tonight, real quick. We'll ride a train if we got anybody out there, and if not, we'll just shut it down. Okay. All right. So today we're gonna take a look at Malcolm X. He was a civil rights leader. I'm gonna give you some information on him real quick, and then we'll get started. Look at this quick video. Malcolm X was a minister, leader in the civil rights movement, and a supporter of the Black nationalism. He urged his fellow Black Americans to protect themselves against white aggression by any means necessary. That was his main motto. We got to do what we got to do to get respect. We got to do what we got to do to keep the man off our back. We got to do what we got to do to be respected and to be accepted, by any means necessary. Respect yourself and respect others and be respected by others. That was his thing. Malcolm X was born Malcolm Little in 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska. His father was a Baptist preacher and follower of Marcus Garvey. The family moved to Lansing, Michigan after the Ku Klux Klan made threats against them. The family continued to face threats in their new home. In 1931, Malcolm's father was allegedly murdered by a white supremacist group called Black Legionnaires. Through the authorities claimed his death was accident. Mrs. Little and the children were denied her husband's death benefits. Okay, that's just a little bit about him, his early background. Malcolm X was in jail, and it was in jail that Malcolm X first encountered the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, head of the Lost Foundation of Islam, or Black Muslims, a Black nationalist group that identified the white people as devils. Soon after, Malcolm adopted the last name X to represent his rejection of this slave name. Okay. All right. After he was released from prison, after serving 6 years and went on to become the minister of Boss Number 7 in Harlem, where his oratory skills and sermons in favor of his self-defense gained the organization new admirers. The Nation of Islam grew from 400 members in 1952 to 40,000 members by 1960s. His admirers included celebrities like Muhammad Ali, who became a close friend of Malcolm X before the two had a falling out. He advocated achieving anything necessary by any means necessary, put him at the opposite end of the spectrum from Martin Luther King Jr.'s nonviolent approach to gaining ground in the growing civil rights movement. Okay, so when I think of Malcolm X, I think of a radical individual. I think of an individual that knew who he was, knew who his people was, because he read and discovered things while he was incarcerated. And also, while he was incarcerated, he obtained a new religion that was a some false religion because they preach, you know, people are devils, and there's nobody. White people aren't devils; they're people like everybody else. But that's what they call them, and they use those terminology to separate white from blacks and to bring up the black man and then put the white man down. That's wrong. So anyway, but he did make a significant contribution to the African American psyche, the African American mentality, and because it's through the Nation of Islam and through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that people, African Americans, began to think better of themselves, think more highly of themselves than they were thinking. So I honor his contributions to American history, and this overall we are Americans, but because we are black, we're Black Americans. But this is a part of American history, and that's what sometimes Caucasians fail to see. They think that if we talk about Black history and we're not highlighting Black history is not American. It is American history. When Americans brought African Americans from Africa over to the United States of America, then that's a part of their American history. Black history, ladies and gentlemen, is a part of American history, and it has to be recognized and accepted. And so today, and they're talking about not teaching history, not teaching African American history in schools. Florida's trying to ban African American courses. Critical race theory is being, not taught. And you gotta understand, they're denying a part of American history, part of American history that makes Caucasians look bad because they did some bad things to our ancestors, man. And you can't deny what happened. We are living proof that we were done wrong. Our ancestors were done wrong. Okay. And so for any race, for any nation, for any country to say, well, we didn't do it, you're lying. And we're evidence that you're lying. Okay. So we have to speak out about what happened in the past. Not, do we live in the past? No, we don't live in the past. We live in the present, but we don't forget the past. Because if we forget the past, it'll repeat itself and we'll be back where we started from. We're not going backwards. So we have to always recognize what happened to us in the past, people that contributed to our history and contributed to the race of African Americans, and that we were able to move up in this world based on our pioneers that came before us and paved the way for us to be where we are today. That's what I believe. And I just believe that people that came before us need to be honored for the contribution they made to help the African Americans and to help our race move up in this world. Okay. So today I got a real short video on Malcom X. I will continue this because I'll be honest with you. I had another piece I wanted to put in, but I had a technical difficulty, but I couldn't get it in. So I'm gonna fix that problem I had with it. And then on the next video, I'm gonna do when the next time you see us, we'll do another live stream. On the next live stream, I'll have the second part of this, plus I had another video. So it'll be a totally different video. Plus, I'll conclude this with the second part of it. Okay. Thank you guys for being patient with me. We had a very technical video problem just now. I got it straightened out. As you recall, ladies and gentlemen, our first initial start in the series was on Fannie Lou Hamer. And don't recall, she was another civil rights freedom writer, a freedom person, and she helped a lot of people get to vote, register to vote, and gain freedom in Mississippi and throughout the United States of America. So now this is our second installment for the month of January, and we're going to have all February once a week, and it's usually going to be on Saturday. It's called Malcom X, Black American History. Malcom X speaks on freedom. Okay, real short, real quick, but no less than 30 seconds, but it's powerful. Okay, here we go. Maceo, roll the tape, man.
Freedom is never safeguarded, people. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom. Now, the only way you can have peace is to eliminate those injustices, and the American white man is not going to eliminate. He's going to talk that pretty talk, but he'll still continue to practice those inhuman deeds. And anytime you beg another man to set you free, you'll never be free. Freedom is something that you have to do for yourself.
Freedom is something you have to do for yourself. Anytime you have to beg a man to set you free, you'll never be free because you're not doing it for yourself. You're begging somebody else to do it for you. And nobody's going to give you freedom because that takes away their what? Power. Okay? If I have power over you and you ask me to release my power, that makes me powerless over you. Why would I release my power over you and become powerless like you? So you have to, everybody that's not free has to take an active part in obtaining their freedom. If you believe that free people are going to let you go free by you asking them, it's not going to happen, Captain. You know what I'm saying? We got to walk, we got to march, we got to talk, we got to vote. Excuse me. We got to do everything we can. And I'm not an advocate of violence. Okay, I would let's just get that clear right now. I never advocate violence. I'm like Martin Luther King, nonviolence. Okay, but I'm also like like Malcom X. You know, you got to protect yourself. I don't believe I'm not going to throw the full stone. I'm not going to hit nobody. I'm not going to go start nothing. But I believe if you come after me, I'm gonna protect myself, and that's what anybody in their right mind would do. Okay, so I'm not advocating violence at all. That's not my thing. But I'm advocating being outspoken, being alert, and exercising your right to vote. Many people that came in the civil rights movement and freedom movement in this country in the United States were played with their lives, blood, sweat, and tears, so that African Americans could have the right to vote. Many of you right now, if you're under 25, under 30, you never knew that your ancestors couldn't vote. You know, many of us, we couldn't vote. You know, and so now we have the right to vote, and we should cherish that right. Don't believe that right can't be taken away from you, because it can. When we were brought to this country, ladies and gentlemen, slavery was legal. I keep saying that. You know why I keep saying that? Because many of you don't believe that slavery was legal. We know that it was wrong, right? It was wrong. You take, my ancestors were taken from their country. Your ancestors were taken from Africa and brought here in chains and shackles, and that's wrong. That's morally wrong. But when they brought us to the United States of America, that was totally what? Legal. Okay. So now the question is, if it was legal then, could it be legal again? Yes, it could. I mean, that might be far-fetched to say it could be legal again, but it could. Theoretically, it could. And you know how it can be done? When we sit at home and don't vote, and everybody else on the Caucasian go to vote and they vote slavery legal, yeah, it can happen. You know, I know it's sort of far-fetched, but it could happen. There's a possibility it could happen. So how do we prevent that from happening? We stay alert about the laws that's up there. We stay active in our voting, and we represent, when it's time to vote, we vote people in office that will represent us, that be politically committed. Okay, this as you're spiritually committed, you're socially committed, you're committed on your job, you're committed to your relationship, you're committed to be politically committed to voting as well. That's how we stay free. That's how we stay viable. That's how we stay active. That's how we stay from having people stomp on us and put their knees on our necks, like somebody we know named George Floyd. Okay? So that's all I got for you tonight. I want to bring that to you real quick to let you know that I'm going to be representing Black History Moments for the entire month February, and this is our second installment in January. We started early because I got a lot of people. That's two of many. Fannie Lou, Malcom X. Those is two of many more coming down the pipe. Get ready. You want to open up your eyes. Many of you don't know about the history. The only thing you know is what you was taught in school, and a lot of you go to these schools that don't teach you anything deep. They just teach you the superficial stuff. You might hear about Marcus Garvey. You might hear about George Washington Carver, Benjamin Banneker, the basic stuff. But there's a lot of people you don't hear about. So I'm gonna try to bring you some people that they don't focus on in the lessons. When I was coming up, I didn't know much about Malcolm X. In fact, when I heard about Malcolm X, I guess I was like 12th grade or something. I thought he was like a terrorist or something. I didn't know. I was never taught anything. I thought he was like a bad man. I said, Malcolm X, why is he calling his name out? Who was he? I didn't know. But as I went to college, now when I started out at historic black college, Clark College in Atlanta, and I transferred later on to other colleges. But that's when I started. My eyes began to open, and I started to say, wow, we are something. We got history. We deserve to be here. We paved the way. We paid our way to be just like they did. We didn't get here. We weren't brought here on a voluntary basis. But we were brought here, and when we were brought here, we made the best of the baddest circumstances in the world that any other race could have ever had to be under. Okay, and we still coming out strong. We still coming out powerful, and we still moving in this world. Okay, so I'll never let nobody talk me down because I'm a black man. I'm a proud black man. I'm proud of my color. I'm proud of my race. Now, don't call me a racist just because I said I'm proud of my race. If you're a Caucasian man, you should be proud of your race too. You know what's wrong with that? That doesn't mean you hate black people. That means you are who you are, right? I am who I am. I can't change me. I can't rearrange me. So I accept who I am, and I'm thankful for who I am, and I move forward in it. Okay, that's how I look at life. I don't bash anybody else, but I celebrate my blackness because that's who I am. Okay, and if you Caucasian, if you brown, whatever, man, celebrate who you are. Okay, and nobody else will have to pat you on the back, pat your own self on the back. Okay, so that's first installment. The next installment will be on the next video podcast. I have 2 videos. I got another topic I want to bring, and then I'm going to bring the second part of this Malcolm X video. As you also know, all my short videos like this, I usually make a short video out of it as well. So you may see this another video as a short video coming out, and I'm allowed to do that by YouTube because they have YouTube Shorts now. You can take any long video or any broadcast live video and create a short video of it. That's what they're encouraging all of the creators to do at this time. And it's short videos are going to take over. Before it's all over with, short videos are going to be more than the long videos. That's what YouTube is trying to get to. So just want to let you know what's happening as far as when you see another video similar to this, it's going to be a short version of this same video. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Let me see if we got anybody today. Yeah, we got a couple people. Freddie Mercer, first man up. What's up, Freddie? How you doing, my brother? Is it good evening, buddy? Good evening to you, Freddie. Thank you so much for bearing with us, man. We had some problems with the video. I don't know. I think it was the internet just being slow coming up. But we got through. At least he helped me, and she fixed it. At least she's my technical guru, man. Sometimes she messes up, but most times she fixed it. She fixed the problem. Just look here, you got this. I said, no, it's the internet, but it was the internet. We found out.
Congrats, Freddie.
Freddie made it, man. Congrats to you. Congrats to you, Perry Mason in the house today. He's the only man here today. First man up, only man up. Good to see my guy. And whenever I do segments like this with historical nature, you don't get a whole lot of people, and that's a bad indictment on people of color, people African American. We don't want to know about our history. We want to know about everything else. But when it comes to us, and that's sad because what happens is that television, videos, radio are programming our mind away from who we are. What we listen to and what we look at is what we're attracted to and what we want to be. Yeah. And many of us, what many people are doing nowadays, they're looking at videos, looking at it on the cell phone, looking at it on a tablet, looking at it on the computer. They don't watch TV that much anymore, and they listen to radio, and all that stuff is influencing them to look at anything other than who they are. And a lot of people are trying to be other than who they are because they're being influenced by what? Radio, TV, all the other things other than what they are. If we read, then we can be influenced by our readings. And if we read about ourselves, we can be influenced by the people that look like us, walk like us, talk like us, and came before us, so we can understand what was it like before we got here. And so we won't wind up going back into slavery like our ancestors did. So it is important. And so I feel that it's important that whenever you see something about black folks, if you black, you ought to get in it. If you can't get in it, you can never win it. Okay, let's go. Who we got? That's it. Perry Mason. Perry Mason. Yeah, Perry Mason. Good to see you, man. You're the only guy tonight. Sometimes we only have 1 or 2 people. Glad you showed up. He said that Brother Malcolm was a great and powerful speaker. Whether speaking to people who are answering questions of media, he did made you think while hearing his words and long after. Yeah, he was very powerful. I didn't know about him, man. I'm telling you, be honest, till I got in high school. My last year, and they started talking about Malcolm X. I thought and way I heard people talking about him like he was a gangster or something, or somebody you didn't want to be around. I don't know how I got that impression, but when you're young, you get impressions of stuff, and that's how I thought he was until I read his autobiography. Then I began to understand that Malcolm X was a good man. He was a great leader. He was misunderstood and he was misled to a certain extent by he following the nation of Islam and the honorable Elijah Muhammad. He later on in life discovered the real Islam, which is in the Middle East Islam, Arabic Islam, and then he changed to the real Islam. That's when the Nation of Islam, they say they went against him, and that's when they had to depart from them. But I read it, so I was inspired by that book so much. And when the movie came out, the autobiography from Malcolm X, it was nothing like the book. So if you saw the movie, it was a watered down version of the book. So read the book, and you'll get a whole new perspective, whole new understanding on Malcolm X. We got probably he's back in the day. Muslim movement looked very intriguing to me. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I was like almost in it. I went to a mosque meeting 2 or 3 times, and I'll tell you what, I was like maybe 18, maybe about 18, 20, something like that. And I went to it several times because I was inspired by the things you were saying about helping yourself and moving up in life and being strong and being independent and trying to achieve things, not being held back in the world. That was my mentality back then when I was young. I wanted to move up and I wanted to do better, and I didn't like anybody talking down to me. So I was inspired by that type of talk. When I went to the mosque about 2 or 3 times, on the last time I went to the mosque, I heard something they said, and I never went back. You know what they said? And I think I mentioned some of this as I brought this broadcast up. I said that they said that white people are devils. I said, what? And I have a lot of, at that time I had white friends, So white people are devils, what? And I just walked out. I couldn't believe that. I don't believe that now. But that's what they taught, and that turned me off. And I knew that I was, for me, maybe some of you guys out there right now, I'm not trying to come against anybody's religion, but that turned me off, and I've never been back to it. Now, does that mean that everything they teach is wrong? No, that particular teaching was wrong for me, and it didn't do well for me, so I walked out. Now, Malcolm X, as I mentioned earlier, he came away from the Nation of Islam also because they're teaching about true Islam. They were not teaching the true Islam. And he understood, he made a pilgrimage to Mecca. Once he made a pilgrimage to Mecca, that's when he discovered the real Islam. And he realized that the Nation of Islam, as he understood, was not practicing the real Islam. So he made a life-changing decision to leave the Nation of Islam. And that eventually led to a split between Muhammad, Elijah, and Malcolm X. And it also many people believe that it led to Malcolm X's demise. He was assassinated. So I'll bring some more of that information with you on the next broadcast. It's been a blessing to come to you guys like we normally do, bringing you good information so that you can understand some of the things that our leaders that came before us went through and the good things they did. They hear a lot of the bad stuff. We don't ever hear the good stuff, okay? So I'm going to bring you some of the good stuff to show you that we have contributed mightily to this nation, and we should never, no history book should never neglect us like they did in the past. And I remember being a kid, and I used to I went to a black school, and we had to get projects and stuff and find information on this one and this one. Every time I would go to the library and look up information on black people, you could very seldom back then days they had encyclopedias. There was no internet, none of that stuff. So every time I go in encyclopedias, you might find 1 or 2 people. George Washington Carver was one of the biggest. Who else? Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, the biggies out there. But that's it. But there was more people in that, it was a hard time finding anything other than those few. So now things are opening up. The internet is widespread out there. If you have the ability to read and discover, and you can find out for yourself. You don't need a teacher to tell you nothing. You can have your independence and find out for yourself. Malcolm X said, if you want to be free, you have to do. He just got to saying in his speech there. If you want to be free, it's up to you. It's up to every individual to determine their freedom and to find their freedom and to follow their own freedom. My freedom is here, where I am in the Philippines. I'm free, I'm happy, and I'm being who I want to be. I'm who I want to be with. I'm living a good life, the life I want to be. That's freedom for me. Many of you think that freedom is money. Freedom, money can get you a certain amount of freedom, but it's not really truly freedom. Anybody with a millionaire can tell you that. They're bogged down with a whole lot of stuff, and money sometimes bogs you down. True freedom is being who you want to be, where you want to be, and being happy. That's being truly free. And I can say today, I'm truly free. I feel more freer here in the Philippines than I did in the United States of America. All right, guys. It's been real. It's been real. It's been real. Thank you so much for showing up today, Frederick Mason. It's been a blessing. What else you got? That's it. Yeah, it's been a blessing, man. We appreciate you. This is Bobby and Phil Queen. What you doing?
We
Say take care
God bless.
and peace. We'll see y'all. I'll probably be back with y'all again on Tuesday or Monday. Okay, that's it for now, Bobby. Bobby saying take care. God bless. Peace.